How y'all doing? This is your hostess with the mostest, Donna Smith, aka Lady D. And I'm trying to figure out why I got a little glare. I think because of where I'm sitting, but that's okay. Excuse me, you guys, for the look today. I'm kind of recuperating. Wasn't feeling too well yesterday, a little under the sun, and hopefully everything's going to be fine. Feeling a little better today, but I'm still praying for everything to be fine. So, what's going on? This is a very, very interesting middle of the week. The weather is not as cold, but it's been really cold at night. So, um, snuggle up, buckle up. I had to go to the emergency, and I'm gonna tell you the people that's in the emergency nowadays. We got the RSV, whatever. We got COVID. We got the flu. We got this. We got that. It's dangerous out here. So you guys make sure too you keep on your mask, okay? I keep mine on when I go in and out of places for real. So anyway, tell me something good. I wanted to chat a moment about why do some make fun of others' shortcomings? And I'm speaking in terms of when you're in a relationship with someone. It doesn't have to be married, it could just be you have a relationship, a real relationship. Because some call relationships just dealing with each other. But I'm talking about a commitment. Um, you being exclusive, you being faithful to one another, that type of relationship. And we touched on it briefly when I was doing the show on Monday. And it's very interesting how some will. I'm trying to make sure I get this glare out. This glare is in my. Maybe see the cars back there. Um, and I got a little sun glare. I'm trying to adjust, but some when they're pissed off and mad about something, they're mad about you have a little fight or a disagreement with one another. Some do not know how to exercise the mouth. And I don't mean literally, I don't mean the mouth in grown folk kind of ways. I'm just talking about running the mouth. So sometimes out of anger, folks will get upset at one another and you'll say crazy things like whatever that person's shortcoming is. You may talk about um, her bald head. You need to get your bald headed self out of my face. Whoom, whoom, whoom. Or you need to get off the couch and go work out because your butt is big. And the only thing you do is sit here and eat. Or, they may blurt out about a person's size. Their sexual tool size. It may be something to say in regards to how big or small it is. Well, usually they don't complain about how big it is, but how small it is. It could be, you just, man, you just don't do it for me no more. You did that little bitty thing just don't work, and I just can't deal with it, and blah blah blah. And they'll start attacking and making fun of a person's shortcomings. Now, we touched a little bit on this regarding people. People will be with you, deal with you, and expect everything to be copacetically perfect. No issues, no problems. It's just perfect. And no relationship or person is perfect. So, therefore, if you have been with them for a period of time, you guys have stayed together, been together. Some have been together for years. And you've been together for years, and then you start you start growing apart or whatever the situation, and then you want to start downplaying on a person's shortcomings. All bad. All bad. And you guys, You got to remember that words cut like a knife. You cut someone like a knife with your words and saying things that's hurtful, and then want to come back later and say, I'm sorry, I did not mean that. I don't know what got over me. Perhaps I had too much to drink, or perhaps I just, you know, was having a bad day. Whatever the excuse is, they try to excuse it up. There's no excuse for running your mouth and saying bad things about someone. If a person is not big enough for you in that area, then you should have noticed that way before a couple of years of being together. And if that wasn't for you, you should have just left them alone. If you needed something more accommodating, larger, maybe smaller, I don't know, whatever your situation is, you should have just left them alone. Why sit up and make fun of somebody's situation? And I'm telling you, it's a hurtful thing. I'm not a man, but I've had certain men tell me, excuse this noise, you guys. I got the window down because it got kind of hot in this car for me. I put the window down, and I'm hearing everything going by, but I hope you can hear me okay. But the worst thing for a man is for a woman to get mad at him and then start slandering him about he's not of a sufficient size. He's too small for her. Or perhaps she may want to sometimes, very rare, say how big he is, but usually it's he's too small, and she wants to say certain things like that. Or you ain't got no money, you broke, we can't do this, we can't do that because you broke. I'm tired of being the one all the time paying the bill for us to go here, go there, go. So I don't ask you out no more. I go out with my friends. So they want to beat them down. And that man may be sitting up there probably looking for jobs every single day. Looking for jobs. We've been having some major, massive layoffs with a lot of large companies that's laying off a massive amount of people. And I think Amazon was one, and I don't know if Tesla was one, but it was a couple of large companies where there were some major layoffs, and you never know when that's going to come. In corporate America, it can happen anytime, any job, any way, when you least expect it, and you are out there on the whim. And for somebody to badger you about that or to make you feel worse than you do, they're making fun of your shortcomings, they're messing with your self-esteem, and they're sending you through a whole lot of head trips. So stop doing that. Stop doing that. If somebody is not for you, their situation is not for you, first of all, don't wait until a person get in a situation and then decides you can't deal with it and you don't want to be with them. I don't know what has happened to loyalty and commitment. If you're just freshly meeting somebody and they tell you their story, and you may say, well, I don't know if I can, to yourself, I can't, yeah, they got too much going on. That's a whole nother situation and something you have to determine yourself. But when you actually have been with somebody and they situation shift, to make fun of their shortcomings in that moment, because if that person ends up turning that situation around, which will probably happen, and they end up blowing up, which could probably happen, then you're going to be the one trying to kiss all up under them, and they ain't going to want to have it. Because we all go through our ups and our downs. It can't always be up, it can't always be down. Keep the fight in you alive. So that making fun of what's happening with a person, especially when you're talking about their money, and that's male or female, or their, clapping, their situation, their tool, or you may make fun that your woman is not doing it for you anymore. She's not doing the thing, and the worst thing, you guys, is to sit up and say what your ex did that your new mate is not doing. Yeah, like my ex, I mean, I should have just stayed with them because they used to woon, woon, woon. We had a bad relationship in other areas, but when it came to that, that's the worst thing in the world you could do. Please don't do that. Do not compare your ex relationship with what's happening now. If you're loyal and committed to that person, don't make fun of their shortcomings. You guys work together and try to make it better. And don't stay involved in something long that you know from the gate was not going to work for you. If that person is short, literally short, you got some situations in that area short, like I had said on another post, it's not going to grow. I mean, it's not going to twinkle your nose and be bewitching. All of a sudden, the next day is like that. It does not change. That's what you get. That's what it is. That's the person. What else do you love about them other than that? The character of the person. That's what you should be focusing in on. And if you recognize early that that just ain't for you, get ghost. You know, the issue is, I think some will stay in situations for the self gratification or benefit that they get out of that, that has nothing to do with the clap, the size, the money. It may have other things that they're gaining from that person. And then you have those who stay in there for the money. They stay in there for the girth. They stay in there for all kinds of other reasons that has nothing to do with the heart condition of the person. But I'm going to tell you, that's what's more important. Because the clap thing, it complements. It complements. And that is not the deal breaker. It shouldn't be. If that's the deal breaker in your situation, then perhaps that ain't the situation for you. You see what I'm saying? And I'm kind of all over the map with this, but this is what I do. So just hold on, y'all. And in the moment of thought, I jump around, and that's okay. We still come back to the same, principle and meeting. But yeah, you know, they kind of just get involved for the wrong things, and then when those shortcomings start flaring up, and you're pissed at them, or you're drinking, because they say the person who's drunk usually say the truth of how they really feel. So pay attention to a drunk when they get to talking mess, because they usually saying what's in here already, right? So they then want to attack you in the areas that you are having issues, or you're weak in, or and who's to say that's weak? Who's to say it's weak if you need to work on some things in the bedroom. You just need to work on some things in the bedroom as a couple. You guys need to work on it. And if you work on it as a couple, everything will be okay, one way or another. And especially if you focus on the things outside of the box of um, just focusing in on what they can do for you. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? What can they do? How do they make me feel? How much money they got? How many gifts they buy me? Won't. You get to going through all that. Excuse me, y'all. I'm looking for something as I'm talking, but I'm still here. You get to going through all that, all them excuses, all those reasons that has nothing to do with nothing but what you can gain and obtain. And I'm gonna tell you, that is jacked up. That's real jacked up in a situation of having something that's real. So just be mindful. Um, Again, let's recap. Don't blurt out and get mad at somebody and tell them, or talk about, or make them feel bad in regards to their shortcomings as far as you are concerned. Because I'm going to tell you, what you see as short, the next person that they get with may see it as an extreme asset. It may be all good. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. You may be throwing away a diamond and don't even know it. And then you get with somebody that got all these other little things you was looking for, girth and all, and they don't have nothing else connected with you. There's no emotional connection, no spiritual connection, no friendship, no romance, no giving a doggone about how you doing, how you feeling. Because, it's some that you're seeing, and you end up telling them that you're going through some medical situations, and they don't even ask you, do you need anything? Well, do you need anything, dog? I can, come on through there and bring a little something for you if you need it. Or if you're good, you're good. But if you need to talk, just call me. Well, you don't even hear. They know something's going on, but you don't even hear. So you got to take note to all those things. And I made this a very short video today because a sister got to go. I'm going to be back. I'm going to try to do something tonight, depending on how I'm feeling. But if not, for sure, tomorrow I'll be back on here. We're going to hang out a little longer tomorrow. I'm going to have a gift of gab with you guys on something interesting. But just kind of think about those things. Watch your mouth. Watch what comes out when you're upset. Some of you have anger management issues, I understand, but get help for it. Just get some help for it. Because, you have to, let me just make this point before I go. And this is what I try to do. I try to step in the shoes of another when I do things or say things. So I try to think outside the box. Well, man, how would I have felt if that was said to me? How would I have felt if that was done to me? Because we're human. So sometimes if something slips, it may not have been what slipped, but it's how it slipped. You may have said it in a tone that was offensive to the other person because you're worked up and have some anxiety inside of you regarding some things you're dealing with. So you kind of said things kind of roughly. Whatever it may be, once you identify that you came off in a way that would be very offensive to you if someone did it, a lot of people will say, well, no, if they did that to me, I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take that, and I would have to deal with them about that. I mean, they quick to say that, but they're not slow to anger. They are a quick fuse. So soon as they get puffed up and mad about something, they just saying anything to you. They talking about your girth. They talking about what you can't do in bed compared to their mate. They talking about you being broke. They talking about all your friends. They talking about you can't dance, you can't kiss, you not a romantic. Oh, you plan that trip? Oh my God, why you pick that room? Man, this is a cheap room. They don't even know the financial situation. It was the thought that count. No, don't put me in no room with a bunch of roaches and rats, but if it's a nice place that didn't cost $500 a night, it's the moment and the reason and the comfortability that counts. It's not about how much the room costs. Just like some will get caught up with how much the ring costs. Oh, they gave me a ring. I got a ring. We gonna be engaged. But dang, that diamond is not big enough. It's not about the size of a diamond. You want to be able to see it, but it's not about the size. Hey, short fuse. Hey, round back. What's up with you? I ain't heard from you in a minute. Where you been? So it's not the size of the stone. You know what I'm saying? It's not the amount of dollars you got in your wallet. It's not the big suite of a room that you paid for, but you want to do something nice that's affordable for you, and it should be appreciated. So if you're dealing with someone who appreciates that and don't have a short fuse, because some would hurt your feelings and tell you in a minute, boy, bye. Girl, bye. What you do? You tried to cook that don't taste right. And she was in there. She don't cook that well, but she tried. Good, you hanging around back. I'm glad to see you okay, sweetheart. But she can't cook a lick, but she tried. She really tried to do some stuff for him, and he ridiculed her cooking. That's not good, fellas. Don't talk about her cooking. Now, if you want to get in the kitchen and maybe help her with some things, or take over, or give some positive reinforcement, well, babe, I like, how you cook your rice? Well, I just put, some water in there and a little dash of salt and put it all in there and stir it up, and that's it. So you got your way that makes it fluffy. And did you wait till the water boiled? Did you put some salt? Did you put a little butter in there? Did you? Hey, Antoine, how you doing too? Where you been? I'm glad to see y'all today. You guys been hiding out on me, or you been in the backdrop because I ain't been seeing you. Um, but if you want to give that constructive criticism, see, y'all making me stay on here longer, I tell you. But if you want to give that constructive criticism to them and help them, yeah, I know work. I feel you working. We got to do it. We gotta do what we gotta do to make that money. You know what I'm saying, Antoine? But you just work together constructively. Yes, I'm grateful too. I'm grateful too. And I can't wait until I can get back to normalcy. I'm off the topic right now, you guys, about the cooking the rice and helping her in the kitchen or whatever. But I'm just saying I'm ready to get back to my normal things. But I've been able to mentally focus on some things while I have been recuperating. And I'm hoping that this month I will be back to my normalcy. Yeah, I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it. So, yeah, so you have to be able to support one another and help, and not get all into this, bashing and lashing of their shortcomings. I'm telling you. And I was led to do this talk because I've had a couple of people come to me. I had a woman come to me about being really crushed about her hair. Her hair had fell out and was thin and short, and she had to wear wigs and do whatever. And when her dude saw her hair, he started just bashing her. So he bashed her really when they got into their little fight, got to calling her bald head and all this stuff. And it made her, it really hurt her feelings. Then it was a guy who came to me saying that, unfortunately, due to his size, that his woman, every time they would get into a fight or argument, she would ridicule how small he was. But they loved each other, and they did what they did when they came together. But according to her little comments, she's definitely not satisfied. But she hadn't said that to him, and he was thinking the size was cool. I think he said they had been dating for like a year. So my thing is, letting it go a whole year, and all of a sudden you starting to beat him down. Why? Because you got something that was bigger out there going on, and taste the pudding, and you taste the pudding. So now you want to come back to his jelly pop, his jelly roll, and say, you know what, that jelly roll ain't doing it for me no more. Yes, she should have, Antoine. She should have just came out and said in the beginning, that I don't know how is she supposed to say, I'm used to having big ones, you ain't big, or sweetheart, because, your size and things like that is not really taking me there totally. Let's get creative and think of some other ways that will help me along the way to get my feeling just as though you're getting yours, just as you're getting yours. I mean, it's how you present things. Maybe she could have incorporated some extra something into making things more, exciting. Maybe she could have bought some toys that she figured she may like, and maybe, yeah, you're right, Antoine, and maybe started trying to incorporate the toys in the whole act of it, and that may have helped. But I think, I know the best thing is to always just find a way to keep it 100. And don't do it when you're mad. Don't do it when you're pissed. Don't do, yeah, Antoine, that the oral is definitely the foreplay for sure. When you are struggling with size, And even if you're not struggling with size, it's an excellent foreplay. And it's a foreplay both ways, for the man, for the woman. You know, the man just got to let you know before he blast off, if he going to blast off, if he does, because some don't blast off that way. That's another topic for another day. But some don't blast off, and some, yeah. Some will just take it, zoom. They'll just take it there. Um, because of the technique and how it's done. But there is other things you could do. Now, if you sitting up there saying, "Well, I don't do that." You know, some people, I don't do that. I think that's just like nasty. You know, it's just not in my arena of things to do. But if you want to do me, that's fine. You can do me. Do me, but I'm not gonna do you. Girl, bye. Boy, bye. You know what I'm saying? You have got to be open to the possibilities of bringing forth change in your situation. If you need to incorporate, because that is an excellent way. Thanks for bringing that up, Antoine. That is an excellent way to start off foreplay, and to sometimes it even helps take your mate there. Your mate goes there before anything else is done. So you're pleasuring them, yep, and they're pleasuring you. And usually if that's done right, you both are gonna feel right. Some people have even went there with the oral pleasuring to the point that after they get through with that, they both feeling like, ooh wee, that's it, that's all. They don't even want to go through the other, because they got theirs, you know. And then some just love that being the start, the kicker, the before we run down that field. And so if it is a struggle with size, it's not really exaggerated that way. You know, whether she's too big, he's too large. I talked about this in another video. But you've got to find ways and techniques. Yeah, Antoine, you funny. Yeah, you have to find ways and techniques that is going to bring about some goodness in your situation, and stop making fun of each other's shortcomings. If you gotta go there to be badgering your mate about any of the things we've talked about in this video, then you probably have the wrong person. And if you don't get your mind right, you're gonna go to the next person and you're gonna do the same thing, and you're gonna find yourself lonely. You're gonna find yourself, sorry you guys, got a refresher. Um, you're gonna find yourself lonely by yourself. Ain't nobody gonna be wanting to be bothered with you, because you just come off foul, you know. And that's why it's so important to take what you learn and evaluate before you jump into something else. Pay attention to maybe what your contribution was in that last relationship. What did you do that you could have done differently? What was considered bad, wrong? You know, what kind of person has it made you by going through this? What have you learned from it that you can take to the next relationship? What do you appreciate about being in a relationship? Because some just don't like women. And some women don't like men. They done had too much of an issue in relationships in their past, and they got a load on their back, a monkey on their back, that they cannot get off, with their attitude and their feelings behind getting serious with someone, right? So they're already bitter, they still carrying the weight, so they bring all that negativity into who they are with moving forward. They don't really like men, but they got a man. And I'm not talking about don't like men in the way of, you know, identifying with being, you know, gay or whatever. I'm talking about they don't like men, period. They like men, they want to be with a man, but they just don't like them. And they don't like them because of how they've been treated in the past. So they be still having post-traumatic stress syndrome and all that stuff going on, and flashing, and just, you know, he do one little thing that remind them to what the ex used to do. Oh, you in the doghouse. You on the couch for a month. You in the doghouse. You ain't getting none. I ain't doing nothing with you, for you, onto you, none of that. And him the same. If he got a bad relationship with, had bad relationship with the last two, three relationships, don't get along with his sister, don't like his mama, because there's some out there that just don't like, and they just don't like women, but they want to be with a woman because they love the benefits of being with that woman, but they don't like them. So they don't treat them good sometimes when they get pissed off, or their safety get, you have a safety net that you try to put in front of you to protect you from getting hurt. So when they identify and think that they may get hurt from that individual, in any kind of way that flashes back from the past, then they sit up and they just come at it first, because their whole mentality is, I'm gonna hurt you before you hurt me. You gonna have a bad day before I do. And it just, the game started to be played. So with that being said, see, y'all done took me out. I was supposed to been out of here 10 minutes ago, but that's all right, because I can go on and on and on talking about some stuff. So it's all good. I share this so that we can bounce it off. Antoine, thank you. Throwback, thank you for chiming in. You guys are appreciated. And I'm going to get back here. I'll be in here, if not later, I'll be back tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon. So I will see y'all then. But thank you for listening. Play this video again. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell. So each time I come on here and we chop it up in a grown folk type of way, you'll be notified. If you are busy in your day and you can't get it live in the moment, you can always go back and play it, because it's right there for you to check it out. Okay? All right, y'all. I got to go. Have a great day. Bye.